Just trying to get everything set here. See how that looks. Hold on here. I usually do it this way so I can change stuff on the fly. There we go. All right. And bring that down a tad. Tripod's wobbly today for some reason, but we are here. For anybody watching the replay, nobody's in right now, so I can talk to you guys stress-free, I guess, without an audience, whatever you want to call it. Today we are going to be talking about some of the recent fishing gear purchases I've had to get ready for the upcoming kind of top tier fishing season. I fish all throughout the year, as you guys know, but right now, going into spring, as spring starts to pick up into summer, into fall, those are the top tier fishing months. Winter's kind of slow for a lot of people, so I do have the some of the items that I picked up getting ready for the kind of top tier fishing season over here that I'm going to talk about, and then we're just going to talk about, in that vein, we're going to talk about some of the ways that I find good gear for cheap. I've been doing this type of stuff this whole winter, looking for good deals on fishing gear and other outdoor gear to use here in this warmer part of the year. So hopefully I can give you guys some knowledge on how to do that, show you how I found some good stuff, and get rolling talking about some of the stuff that I'm going to be doing in upcoming videos throughout this year with some of this new gear. So let's get rolling here. Also, for those of you guys who see my community posts, I have the laptop here, so that way we can look at some different websites, see what kind of sales are going on. I want to look at some of that type of stuff with you guys, since that has to do with finding good gear for cheap. And also, I think I'm able to monitor chat and stuff like that, and possibly put up polls and stuff on here. So I'm going to check that out. I've never done this type of thing before with running two devices during a live stream, so we're going to see how that goes. Oh man, I had a couple people in here and it just dropped out. I'm not sure what happened. All right. So I turn the volume on this all the way down, pop into YouTube. And if I click on that, I can monitor this while rolling, I suppose. I can. Cool, 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 cool. And I can add polls and Q&As and all that fun stuff. So I got that over here for that sort of thing. Hopefully some more people start to pop in. Look, there's someone. Awesome. Yeah, let me know who's coming in. I'm going to get rolling here with some of the actual main topic of the day and start showing you some of the new gear I've got. So I have a bunch of gear that you guys haven't seen on the channel yet, but some of it will be shown to you guys within the next couple videos. The stuff I'm showing you now is stuff I just got. And probably won't make an appearance in videos for a little while, at least as something that I'm actually going to talk about. So I wanted to kind of show you some of that stuff. And also, I've been finding some good sales on some of this gear, so hopefully that can help you. The first thing is, if you guys watch my Fishing Expo video, I got a new surf rod, which I'm also going to use for like some catfish and carp style stuff. And I needed a reel for it. So a little bit ago, I ended up picking up an Okuma reel. This is a Stratus 7 6,000 size reel to go on this. This is a Dick's Sporting Goods exclusive reel. I've had this for a little while now. Haven't caught a fish on it. Haven't really used it a ton yet. I haven't taken it out on the water. I've just messed around with it a little bit. But it's an Okuma reel, but it's a Dick's Sporting Goods exclusive one. And they were on sale, so I picked one up. Yeah, so far it's a pretty smooth reel. It's got a really nice drag sound, which I kind of like because it help. A lot of times with this style of setup will end up loosening up the drag and waiting till something pulls on it to let me know when I have a fish on. So this should do pretty well. Has that heavy duty bail and bail click that I like, that sort of thing. And I will now have 2 surf setups when I go down to Ocean City, which is going to be super fun. This one's going to be crucial for like leaving out there with big stuff for possibly like rays and sharks and that sort of thing. So hopefully we get some cool footage with this. I'm probably going to go striper fishing sometime this month. So we're going to see about that and everything. So yeah. So I am not getting any chats yet. If you're in here, there's 2 people in here. If you're in here, let me know who you are so I know what's going on. But yeah, super excited to use this reel and super excited to kind of film some segments with this reel and talk about it, because I looked into it and there's not a ton of information. So I think I'll kind of be one of the pioneers of talking specifically about this reel. I think that has to do with the fact that it's newer. And it's a Dick's Sporting Goods exclusive, so there's not a ton of info on it. So hopefully I can do this. But yeah, surf fishing, carp fishing, cat fishing, hopefully some striper fishing next month. Hopefully I'm going to be able to do that at some point in time. So yeah, super excited to use this one. And then if I can get back into frame here, just today I ended up picking up this rod and reel setup. It's a 2-piece. It's an American Hero rod and reel from Lew's. It's a medium power, fast action, 6'6" spinning setup. Let's not hit the ceiling. Yeah, same sort of heavy duty, nice bail click. They've got these nice paddle grips on them. I picked this up. This was on sale today. Kind of part of the spring fishing sale that Dick's Sporting Goods does. And I picked this up. This is going to stay up at my lake house. So I'm starting to build an arsenal of rods and reels that I kind of leave up there so that when we do our travels, I don't have to bring as much stuff back and forth. I've talked about that sort of thing before on the channel, but yeah, I couldn't resist this deal. I've been looking for something like this little combo to leave up there. And it's a lot cheaper than they typically are at $55 today. So I went in and picked this one up. Yeah, this will probably be, we'll call it the last big fishing purchase that I really make for the entirety of the year, pretty much. I'm not saying I won't purchase anything else, but it's not on my priority list. Once I kind of get my rods and reels and stuff set up for the year, get some extra stuff, I kind of stick with it for the rest of the year. Just get everything set and then kind of roll with it. So I don't think I'm really going to get any more rods and reels. Maybe one just to have a rod that goes with that reel that I'm going to leave up at the lake house. But once I get that stuff set, I don't think I'm really going to get any other purchases as far as fishing stuff for the rest of the year. So yeah, super excited to try this one out as well and compare it to kind of a more, I don't know if I want to call it higher end, but a little bit, at least the reel's higher end, a little bit different style of setup that's the exact same thing. I have a 6-foot medium power with a 3000 size reel that I use for inshore saltwater stuff and bass stuff that I already have. So just comparing kind of a direct one-to-one is always cool with this sort of stuff. And now that I'm done actually talking about the rods and reels, I do kind of want to talk about some of my upcoming plans with these. As I mentioned, going to be doing some big game style stuff with this, and we are going to have another multi-species madness going on this summer where this rod and reel will be shown. So I'm excited to do that. Speaking of multi-species madness, I will have one coming out later this month before April's over. There should be one out. Maybe. We'll see if I can get it out before the end of the month. But we should have one of those coming out real soon. And then we should have some other cool, fun fishing videos before the end of this month. There's one more new fishing gear that I want to show you guys. And then we'll just start talking about some general ways to kind of get some fishing gear for cheap, or some general outdoor gear for cheap. All right, this is a little bit different style purchase, but this is also pretty new. You guys will see this in a short that will be coming out this week where I did some trout fishing, but I got a new net. So unfortunately, I was fishing one day, having my trout net on my lanyard, just sitting there. I tied it to a tree. It was floating in the water. I had turned around and it was gone. I was very sad. It was unfortunate, but it gave me a chance to get a new net. So I got a floating net so that way I don't really have to tether it to the kayak when I'm using it in the kayak. It's rubberized, so it's nice and easy on the fish. This is made by, I believe it's called Foreverlast is the name of the company. And it's a really, really big hoop. I'll probably be using this for a lot more than just trout fishing because it's kind of a more versatile style of net. And I did get my GoPro mount on there, so we will be able to have some net cam footage. Yeah, nets are kind of one of the most overlooked things in fishing. And I think they're really important. So I now have two really nice nets. I have this one, which can do everything to up to like a small catfish, pretty big sized bass, that sort of thing. I can do that in here. And then if I end up hooking something bigger or going for catfish or carp, then I can end up using, I have a really, really big net, which I don't think you guys have really seen in many videos, but I'm really just going to be rolling with those two nets. I got two really good quality ones, and they should cover all my bases. So I did want to show you this net that I recently purchased. This is also only like 25 bucks. If this thing continues to work as well as it has the 2 trips I brought it out, then this should be a really, really good purchase, and it's a really good value. So I did see Stuart come in. He did say he was going to be here. Thanks for showing up, my friend. So now we are just going to talk about how to find stuff cheap. I would love to have anybody in the chat chime in on stuff. That's really what these live streams are all about, is interaction and all that. I start to stumble over my words a little bit when there's nobody in here interacting with me. I start to get caught up in my own ideas and stuff. So I like really talking to you guys. It helps the live stream actually present itself better, and get some more ideas flowing, that sort of thing. So any ideas you have on these topics, let me know. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start a poll in the chat. I've never done this. I'm trying this right now. I'm going to say, do you buy most of your gear on sale? Because I do, and I know a lot of other people who do, but I want to see what this does in chat. I'm going to wait to post this until we have a couple more people in here. Or do you buy gear on sale? This could be a stupid poll. Like, I'm not sure what it's going to tell me. It's not the coolest poll. I just want to see how the polls work because I've never used it. You have a discount card. That's cool. We can talk about that here in a minute. You buy. All right, so we got a poll here. I'm going to wait to do that. But yeah, so Stuart came in. I don't know who else is in here, but I have my laptop here so that I can kind of add some extra flair into the live stream by doing polls and that sort of thing. So, okay. I'm going to wait to post that. But yeah, I'm going to try some of this stuff. But yeah, the first thing I'll talk about is sales. I've been watching a lot of sales lately. Once you get kind of an idea of what sales are in whatever industry you're talking about, whether it be outdoors or not, a lot of outdoor sales happen in the spring. Fishing sales, a lot of them happen in the spring. And if you kind of keep your eyes peeled in that point of time, you should be able to get some pretty good deals on some stuff. One of the things that I also do is sign up for like email lists for some of the companies and different types of gear that I really would like to get, and just be patient with it. That's one of the biggest things. Wait until prices drop and stuff, especially in today's economy. I know stuff's expensive, so kind of wait until stuff drops to a lower price and then go for it. Yeah, as I mentioned, email lists. I know it can be really annoying because it sends a whole bunch of messages to your emails, and you got to go through them all and look through them, and a lot of it's just garbage. But I think if there's specific items you want and you're on a budget, or you're kind of crunched on money, or you're really just set on saving as much money as possible, I think it can actually be really beneficial. I've done a lot of that, and there's a lot of companies. For example, the first one that's coming in my mind is Olight. I have a couple of different flashlights from them and some other EDC gear as well. But you honestly, and I'm not the first person to ever have said this, you honestly should never buy Olight gear if it's not on sale. They go on sale so often. Probably every other month they have a sale. You can save so much money if you're a person who buys Olights a lot by just waiting until they have a sale, because they have them so often. Just buy what you want when it's on sale and then do that. And they have sales all the time. There's certain companies that do that. So yeah, just focus on sales. Obviously, that's kind of like the most obvious way to save money. Black Friday sales, that sort of thing. So I'm not really reinventing the wheel here when I say that, but that's kind of the first thing that comes to mind. So let's check out what Stuart is saying about this discount card. The discount card I have is with a fishing club that you are in. Yeah, so that's a good idea. Like if you sign up, kind of what I'm talking about with like email lists. Sometimes if you just sign up to be a member of certain things, then it can overall help you. Or if you sign up for an email list, maybe they'll give you 15% off an order. I know, for example, my dad, he got a membership to like Harbor Freight of all places because he gets a lot of stuff there for some of the different stuff he does. He has like some different cases that he needs from there. So he ended up getting a membership to that, and let's say it was like $40. And then within 2 months, he repaid the membership with how much he saved because he gets a lot of these different cases and stuff. So it can definitely be beneficial. You got to maybe do a little bit of math to figure out whether it's worth it or not, but it can be beneficial in that sense. So one of the other things that I was just thinking about is it kind of along that same vein. If you use like eBay or something, or you use like Facebook Marketplace, or even on Amazon and that sort of thing, you can set reminders to where stuff price drops. Right, so instead of monitoring when stuff goes on sale, sometimes stuff will just drop in price, and you gotta be able to monitor that. So kind of set some notifications for that sort of thing. So now I'm going to start talking about some of the more obscure things as to ways I save money on gear. And a lot of that has to do with like where I get fishing gear. So I'm going to go on here, or I say fishing gear, but it's all sorts of outdoor gear. I'm going to go on here, and I'm going to go to what's called Gear Trade. If you guys have never heard of this, I only discovered this like last year. It's a really cool site. Look it up on your own end if you're watching. Gear Trade, you can get like used gear. It tells you like how much percent off. And then if you are a first-time customer, it will like take 15% off. And there's like some stupid deals on here. Like I've seen backpacks and stuff that are $100 backpacks, and you can get them for like $27. And there's a whole bunch of different stuff. So that's one of the places that I look. Facebook Marketplace is another great place to look. That sort of thing. And then along the lines of that, one of the other places I start to look for gear and a way to save money on gear is places that don't specialize in whatever the item is. For example, oftentimes I look for EDC gear solutions in like hardware stores or like the dollar store, because you can find some stuff that works really well for not a lot of money, right? So if I'm looking for, we'll just call it like an EDC sewing kit, and I look online and I find one that's $8, I almost guarantee you there's one at the dollar store that's 90% as good for like $2. And you know, that sort of thing. Along the same lines of hardware stores, I made a couple videos about it. You can find like smaller tools, like just actual dedicated tools that work really well in EDC kits, and that sort of thing. With fishing stuff, you can find, we'll call it not rods and reels and lures and that sort of thing. But you can find what organizing boxes that you can use for tackle. You can find fly tying materials. I know Stuart's in chat. Fly tying materials, you can find a lot of that at hardware stores and the dollar store and that sort of thing. And craft stores. Craft stores is a great place to find cheap fly tying materials. They've got like all sorts of colored feathers and all sorts of different yarns and that sort of thing. Works really, really well. But yeah, you can kind of just look in obscure places and find some really good stuff. So yeah. Hopefully that helps give you some ideas. What else here? Camping gear. You can find some camping gear, stuff that will work for camping in dollar stores and stuff. I mean, like little pots and pans and lighters. You can find all that sort of stuff at dollar stores. You don't have to limit your searches to just, we'll call it, places that it should be. You don't have to go to Cabela's to find camping gear. Like, you can find stuff that works other places, and it'll save you a bunch of money. So yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I have to talk about. I really want some input on ways to save money that you guys have. I know that's kind of something that is really important to people. It's really important to me. I'm kind of like a deal hunter. One of the biggest things I have to say is don't necessarily feel like you have to settle for something, right? If you're like, oh, well, I want this one, but um, I don't know, like it's a little bit expensive. I think I'm just gonna do it. Like people say, oh, just bite the bullet and do it. I would say don't necessarily do that, because a lot of times it's not that thing. It's like the specs of that thing, and you can find something else that fits that kind of criteria for a similar or cheaper price somewhere else. Like when I look at reels and stuff or rods, for example, a lot of times I'm like, I think this one would fit really well, and then I find something somewhere else that has the same sort of specs and what I'm looking for, but it's cheaper, and then I just end up going with that one. So yeah. I'm going to post the poll now and let you guys respond to that. There's not many people in chat here. But yeah, I want to see what you guys think about that. So, like, what I know, I didn't explain this poll well. I'm really just trying to mess around with the whole poll thing here. What I'm asking here is, when you go to the store, do you go just to get stuff, or do you only go when you know something's on sale and you've been looking for it and waiting for it? Are you patient with your purchases, or are you not? That's kind of what I'm talking about here. So, can you guys even see the poll? That's the real question. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here. All right, Stuart, are you still in here? There you go. I buy what I want. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a good thing to do. Buy what you want. Don't buy what you don't want. But yeah, so yeah, I kind of go in to a lot of places. Maybe I'm weird. You guys can tell me, but I kind of go into a lot of places because I know it has something on sale. Like I'll wait for a while to go in until there's a sale on something that I want. Like I just don't go in and say, "Hey, I need this." I kind of plan ahead and then just um wait for a while to get it. So that way, and maybe I'll buy it like way before I need it. Like that surf reel. I mean, I didn't know I was going to possibly do striper fishing, so that doesn't count. But I wasn't going to need that surf reel till summer, but I ended up getting it a while ago because of the fact that it was on sale. Like that's kind of what I'm asking. Maybe I should um maybe I should do that. Sale on a reel, do you mean? Yeah, so what I'm kind of talking about here, I'm not sure I'm explaining myself well. Sorry about that. But like when you go in to buy something from a store, is it just because you're like, all right, I need it or I need it now? Or do you plan ahead and wait till it's on sale to get it? Because I kind of wait until it's on sale and I'll oftentimes end up having it way before I actually need it. I don't know if that makes sense at all. I got my Stratic because it was on sale. Yeah, that sort of thing. Like you didn't say like, oh, I want a Stratic. You said I wanted a reel, and because that one was on sale and it ended up being a good deal, that's the one you pick. Like I often pick certain gear because it fits what I want and it's on sale. It's not like I really want this specific thing. Which store exactly? I don't know, any store. So it's like, yeah, I'll walk in, get what I want, and get out. I don't really go shopping a lot of times, if that makes sense. I often know what I want when I go into the store. I don't really browse. I'm like, okay, this is on sale. Need to go and need to get it. So, yeah. everything is cheaper online. That's a good point. A lot of times with shipping and the fact that overhead prices um, are so high nowadays, yeah, online stuff can be a really good option. However, the one thing with online shopping, which I'm sure all of you guys know, and I'm not saying anything that's shattering your world here, you can't feel, you can't put stuff in your hands, and you can't see the exact sizing at a store. And I know that is one thing that kind of annoys me, or unless you're at a store, if that is one thing that kind of annoys me about online shopping, is the fact you have to like dig for like pictures of it next to a ruler and that sort of thing, and read all the reviews. Where if you get it in hand, you can kind of get your own impressions of things before you purchase it. So yeah, I tend to try and buy stuff in person if I can. But obviously, I end up buying a lot of stuff online, just like everyone does, just because of the convenience factor. So yeah, talking about some of the sale stuff has also made me think about just like how to save money in general. And one of the biggest ways is just kind of like I was talking about, using or buying stuff from places that isn't specifically for whatever it is. For example, you don't have to go to Cabela's to buy camping gear or fishing gear. You can find stuff that works from other places. But oftentimes, just using stuff for almost not its intended purposes can kind of help in that manner. Like, you don't need a, I'm just using an example. You don't need um a specific container to hold your slingshot ammo. Like, I hold mine in an old pretzel container. That sort of thing. You can kind of DIY some stuff too. That's some ways to get some stuff that works really well for minimal money, is doing DIY stuff. You like, I see a lot of people with these like fishing seats or whatever. I just have a bucket and I'll put a piece of foam on the top and I can carry stuff, and then I have my chair to sit on, and it works pretty well. Like, a lot of people think you need to get all fancy or look for like XYZ online, when a lot of times you can just kind of, if you use some logic, you can figure out how to get something for less money that works. So we got some people rolling in now. Let me know who's in chat. Why don't you talk about current fishing conditions this spring and what you found is working best? So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad idea, but I kind of don't have much input to give. All I've been doing so far since the spring really started is trout fishing. I went out doing some. Will you please read this sentence verbatim? What's that mean? I mean, I read the sentence verbatim. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, why? Van Helsing says, why don't you talk about the current fishing conditions this spring and what you found is working best? Yeah, all I've really done this spring as far as fishing is trout fishing. Today I went out and did some just random spot hopping, checking some stuff out. Went to the river to see if smallmouth were out. They weren't. Went to a pond to see if bass were out. They really weren't. Caught some bluegill, caught some little fish at the creek, and it was doing fine. But yeah, I don't really have much input to give on spring fishing conditions and what I found to be working best, since all I've done is trout. And trout, as far as spring, they kind of bite the same every spring. So yeah, I mean, I guess I can give some info on that. All I've been doing there is mostly the kind of power bait mouse tails. They've been working really well on a trout magnet jig head. Been doing some fly fishing. I have a short out about that I put out a couple days ago. Yeah, power bait has been working okay. That pretty much always works. Caught a couple on spinners, but yeah, nothing too fancy. Oh, I did forget to show you guys at the beginning of this live. I also have been picking up a lot of different braided lines from a bunch of different companies. So I have a couple different types of braid. I'm going to be doing a braid comparison, like which braided fishing line is best. I'm going to be doing that sometime down the road here. That'll probably be more towards the summer. But I do want to show you some of the stuff that I've got. I think there's one behind the computer. There it is. One of the ones that I picked up is this Beyond braid. I haven't seen a lot of info on Beyond braid stuff, but this is American flag color, and I have this on my one surf reel. And then also, I got some of this Cast King Superpower braid. One of the other things I'm trying generally is some of this braid that has like multicolors in it. There you go. I have this on 2 of my reels. This is 40 pound, but yeah, I've been picking up some braid and I want to do some comparison of that. So I am going to spool up a couple more reels throughout this spring and early summer with some different types of braid just to test some out and just get some reels re-spooled. So yeah. Got people fluctuating today. I haven't been fishing this spring yet, which sucks for me. Raptor Will says that. Yeah, that is unfortunate. I had a really slow start to the year as far as my fishing, as far as like how many trips I got out. I think until April, I only had like 8-10 trips or something like that. So, yeah, I have been picking it up recently with the start of trout season. I'm almost afraid to say this, but I'm getting bored of trout already. It's only been like 2 weeks since the season opened up, and I'm kind of bored already of it. It's probably because I'm been catching mostly rainbows. I want to get some browns, want to get some brooks, and I've mostly been fishing the same spot. So I guess that's kind of my fault, but yeah, I really do like the variety. As you guys know, I'm a multi-species angler, so yeah, it's definitely been a good trout season, but I get kind of tired of it quickly, and more quickly than most people do because I kind of just like to mix it up all the time. It's getting windy. Are you outside then? Are you out fishing? Maybe tuning in while you're fishing. That'd be cool. Yeah, it's been windy all day here. I'm not sure where you are, but here in Pennsylvania, it's been windy pretty much all day here. I was out fishing earlier, and I had a couple times where I was casting my crankbait on my bait caster in the river, and I'd cast it, be looking fine for the first half of the cast, and then wind would just start ripping, and I'd get a backlash because it dead stopped my bait in the air. Like, yeah, there was some wind action going on today here. Raptor Will needs to get wet lines, and he says yes, that's true. So hopefully he can do that. Interesting, Van Helsing. Nothing against you. I'm just going to remove that comment. I'm trying to keep everything family friendly here. Nothing against you, totally, but I'm going to take that out there so that we're just keeping it nice and family friendly in here. All right, so yeah, I know we've got a couple people in chat now. Generally, we're talking about how to save money on some gear going into this kind of warmer section of the year where we're doing like kind of the peak season of the outdoor activities, outdoor adventures, talking about how to save some money. So if you guys got ideas on how to save money in any sort of outdoor arena, how to save money, even on something like saving money on gas, any sort of thing to save money is what we're talking about today. Tackle Warehouse is a good one. Tackle Warehouse is kind of another site option to where you can save some money, and they have sales a lot. One of the things I just thought of here when Van Helsing said that is that if you kind of vary where you buy your stuff from, that can help a lot. If you buy from the same place all the time, then all you're going to see is when that place has sales. But if you like buy some of your fishing stuff from Dick's Sporting Goods, some from Cabela's, some from Tackle Warehouse, some from Amazon, you're going to kind of get a bigger picture of all the sales, and you can find the lowest prices on stuff you want. So yeah, I'm by no means an expert buyer. I'm by no means an expert consumer. I just like to test stuff here on the channel, show you guys what I'm doing. But this is kind of just a general kind of group discussion about how to save some money on stuff because everyone likes saving money. Another thing to consider, I just made this video. It's my last video out on the channel at the time of this live. Going into like expos and stuff like that, great way to save money on anything, whether it's outdoor stuff or not, because people are really just trying to show off their stuff, and they'll give you stuff for way less money than it's actually listed at. So eBay for things like Mepps big inline spinners. That's good to know. Thank you, Van Helsing. I want to start getting into some muskie fishing this year. Now that I have a vehicle and can drive, I can actually make some trips up to the muskie fishing place around us, because it's kind of far away. It's about 35 minutes to the nearest place that consistently has access to muskie. So it was tougher when I wasn't able to drive on my own. To actually be able to take trips up there and get some musky fishing time in, because it would be, if my parents had to take me, it would be like 2 hours of driving, and they weren't actually staying at the place. They'd drop me off and come back. So it was really a non-option to be able to do that stuff. Yeah. So what was I saying here? Yeah, now that I'm able to drive, I am going to do some musky fishing. So knowing that I have the option to get that sort of stuff there is a good thing. Brain freezes in. Now we can have the party starting because he's here. Also, Melinda McMillan, that's my aunt. So she says, I only buy fishing gear for you, so it doesn't have to be on sale. That is true. Everybody's like, oh yeah, what do you want for your birthday or whatever? I'm like, just some fishing stuff or whatever. This year, everybody helped pitch in on the laptop that I'm reading chat on. So it was a little bit different this year. So how is everyone today? I'm doing pretty good. I don't know about the rest of chat, but I got to do a little bit of fishing today. Got to get some work done, and now we're doing a live. It started off slow, and I was having some trouble speaking, but now that we got some chats rolling, it's doing pretty good. So I'm not sure what happened to Stuart. He was here in the beginning, and I'm not sure if he's here anymore. Maybe he'll pop back in and say, yeah, I was here the whole time. But I don't see him right now. Stores don't typically have the big maps. That's interesting. Now that you say that, I'm not sure I have actually seen the really big ones in stores. That's a good call out. Yeah, I saw some when I was at the expo in the last video, but yeah, you're right. I don't think I've ever seen them in stores. Maybe in Cabela's, but not in like Dick's Sporting Goods or anything like that. Ooh, one of the other ones that I just thought of, now that we're on the topic of where to get certain items, you can find selective, very, very selective, let me point that out. You can find selective fishing items and selective like camping items at Ollie's. I just thought of that. Yeah, it's kind of, my dad once described Ollie's as like all the stuff that falls off the back of the truck ends up at Ollie's, which is kind of true. So it's very not consistent. It's not like, oh, I know that I can go in here and get some stuff. But if you walk in there every once in a while and check and see what they have, it's possible you can find some good stuff for cheap. I mean, there's stuff in there, and it could be good. It could also be garbage. So, yeah, that's another place if you have one of those near you, possibly check out. There's one right next to Harbor Freight. We've got like the bargain corner in that shopping center. But next time I'm down that direction, I'm probably gonna pop in there and see what's in there. So actually, I'll be down that direction on Friday. I don't know if I'm gonna pop in there on Friday, but we could. Probably not, but we could. All right, Jimmy, it was nice watching you for a bit. Have to go get ready for the evening. Have a good night. Well, thank you, Van Helsing, for coming in. My name is not Jimmy. My name is Nolan. I'm not sure if you didn't know that, or you just put in like a placeholder name. My name's Nolan. Now you know. Nice to meet you as well. All right. So, looking back through some chats here. I'm not sure who's still in here. I have 6 people in right now. I'm actually kind of glad that we didn't have a ton of people in there at the beginning. I'm not sure what was going on with my speech. I was having some hard time saying stuff. But now that we got people in here, we're getting on a roll here. We've been live for 39 minutes. I'm probably going to cut this live at right about an hour. So, yeah. We'll see what happens in the next 20 minutes or so. See what we have to talk about. The last 10 minutes or so, I kind of just talk about future plans and stuff on the channel, answer questions. So we only have about 10 minutes more worth of actual content here. taking a look here. Nolan. Okay, yeah, there you go. See, now we get to know each other a little bit better. You know my name. I know a little bit about you. We're getting there. That's why I like these lives. We get a really good community aspect. Off the Hook Outdoors is in here. What's up? I'm going to use one from a guy at church. The sky, the ceiling, how you feeling? I got taught that a long time ago, and I use it all the time. All my friends just know it's coming. Like, as soon as what's up comes out of their mouth, they know what's coming. It annoys them sometimes, but it's funny. So, yeah. Van Helsing subbed to the channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm glad you found what I said at least somewhat valuable. All right. So, I don't know how this worked earlier, but I am going to try a poll. Yeah, it's not working. I don't know how that works. We'll figure that out eventually. Maybe another live we'll figure that out, but it's not working right now. So, yeah. Talk yet again for anybody who hasn't been in here real long. We're talking about ways to save money on outdoor gear. So, any ideas that you guys in chat have, let me know. We're just kind of having a group discussion about this so that we can all be a little bit better financially off as outdoorsmen. I'm getting ready to do a bait making live here soon, buddy. Stopped in to say hi. I think it says to hit the like button. Oh, well, thanks. Sorry, there's like a heart on my screen blocking it, so I can give like reactions and stuff, but it's blocking Off the Hook Outdoors words here. So I was having a little bit of trouble reading there. But thank you for the like. Hopefully your bait making live goes well. Make sure once I'm done this live, definitely go over and check out their live. I'm sure it's going to be good. I've seen some of their stuff, and they make some good content, good fishing people. So, yeah, should be good. All right, here. Let's take a look, see if there's anything else going on in chat. There's not. So I'm going to start kind of talking about some of the future plans on the channel, stuff that's coming down the pipe. I do this at the end of every live. So one of the things that's going to be happening is I guess there's 2 videos coming out this week and probably 1 coming out next week. I have a video talking about cheap fixed blade knives, kind of testing them, see how they do, against some just general testing, see what they're made of. You know, they're not really expensive, and sometimes cheap stuff is cheap for a reason, and we're going to see if these cheap fixed blades are. So that should be coming out here shortly. And then I have a short coming out. That's about trout fishing. I think I'm going to call it something cool, like the journey of a trout or something like that. I caught a trout. I've got some net cam footage of it. So I have camera footage of me hooking the trout and reeling it in, as well as getting it into the net. And then once I caught it, I cooked it up, and I actually gave it to the people at my church for the luncheon. So I had like the whole journey of the trout, from hooking it in the creek to the net, to them getting filleted up, to me cooking them, and then to the people at church. So I think that should be a cool little short. Hopefully you guys enjoy that one. And then I should have the first Multi-Species Madness of the year coming out here, hopefully by the end of April. If not, it'll be the very first week of May. And I should have another one coming out late May, and then another one coming out June-ish, like middle of June, something like that. Kind of leading into ramping up to the summer fishing season. I'm just going to do all 3 of the Multi-Species Madness episodes that I filmed last summer. I've mentioned this numerous times on the channel here in the last couple of months that's my plan. So we're going to get it done. Those are kind of the 3 videos that should happen very shortly. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. I feel like I need to sneeze. Hopefully I don't sneeze on live. That would not be ideal. But yeah, that's kind of what's coming down the pipe there. As I mentioned, I have some future videos planned talking about some braided fishing line. I've got some future videos planned. Hopefully I'm going to do a trip down to New Jersey to fish for some stripers. I thought I was going to be able to go with Bob and Kev from Anything is Possible, who I fished with a couple of times on the channel. But I think we're going to end up heading up to the lake house that weekend. So I'm not sure that's going to happen, which is unfortunate, but we're going to have fun times in other places during that weekend. So I'm still thinking that I'm going to be able to do that sometime in May, go striper fishing in New Jersey, which hopefully should be fun. What other videos do we got coming out? Got some testing of some different gear. I have the rigged and ready rod, the kind of multi-piece travel rod that I used in Florida, and I'm going to be doing some more testing and filming of that. Some other fun things to come. I can't list them all off the top of my head, but we should have all of that coming out here pretty soon on the channel. Yeah, that's what I got to say. Circling back around to kind of some of the ways to save money here. Don't be afraid to try something that is lower budget. Read the reviews, have your best judgment. If something looks bad, it's probably bad. Like, you know, read the signs and kind of listen to them. But with the technology trickle down in so many different outdoor industries nowadays, the lower end, like as far as money wise, the lower end technology is not all that bad. Like I hear the guys from what's it called, Tactical Bassin, specifically, they're a bass fishing channel, very informational. But I hear them talk about this all the time, how when they were younger, the lower end budget price stuff was really not all that good, and you had to pay pretty good money to be able to get something that was worthwhile for using. But now the cheap stuff is good, and I think that applies to a lot of stuff in the outdoor industry. Like, cheap reels are good nowadays. Cheap knives and EDC gear is good. Cheap backpacks, cheap tents. Like, you know, use what you want, right? If you're going to be using it a lot more, you probably want to spend up on it. But the cheap stuff nowadays is pretty decent, and I wouldn't be afraid to kind of spend a little bit less money on something, especially if you're not going to be using it as often. I don't put as much money towards like my surf fishing stuff because I don't use it as much. I want stuff that's going to hold up for the amount of time I use it, but I'm not going to spend as much money on that as I am on like my 3,000 size spinning reel that I'm going to be using throughout the entire year, or my trout setups. You know, both of my surf setups are like a $50 rod, $50 reel, that sort of thing. Depending on whether I bought them at full retail price or not is a different topic. But yeah, you don't have to spend a ton of money to get good stuff anymore, which is something that, as far as I can tell, I mean, I'm not super old guy, but as far as I can tell, that's a fairly recent occurrence. So you should take advantage of it. Anybody else chatting in here? We still have 4 people in here. Let me know who's in here still, just so I know what to talk about. Because depending on who's in here, I talk about different things, right? When Stuart's in here, I tend to mention fly tying stuff, just because that's his thing, you know, that sort of thing. All right. So we're coming up on 50 minutes here, meaning we only have about 10 minutes left in this live. So yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Hopefully you're possibly learning something from either me or someone in the chat. And yeah, sometimes during these lives, I just have random times, like it kind of swells both in the number of people in here and the number of things I think I have to say. Right now, I'm not sure what to say. Raptor Will does say he's still here and is just listening. So thanks for tuning in. You know, at the end of these lives, I always feel like at certain points in time, I'm like just talking about nothing, just yapping. And other times I'm saying really good stuff. So hopefully people are coming in at a time where I'm saying good stuff and not just blabbing about. But yeah, I think that's inevitable because some people are chatting a lot at certain times and some people aren't. And because there's not like a ton going on here, I'm just talking. I feel like that's just the way it goes. So All right. What other ways can you save money on outdoor gear? I'm thinking here. I'm thinking. So, one of the things that I am thinking about is, which is something I haven't done a ton of, but you can kind of maybe with people around you, and also as I mentioned at the beginning, gear trade, hence the name, you can trade stuff on there. So if you have something that you don't use as much anymore and something someone else has, I mean, I don't see any reason why you couldn't just trade it or use gear trade to help you trade with someone online. Like if you thought you were going to try muskie fishing and you ended up not liking it, and you have a muskie setup that you don't use, and you want a surf setup, and someone has a surf setup they don't use, then seems like a pretty good deal to me. You could do some trading, and you don't have to spend money and then try and go through the hassle of selling it and dealing with people trying to do haggling with you. You can just kind of do a 1-for-1 swap and get what you want. So that's another option. Not something I've done, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. What else? What else? What else? Reusing stuff too. There's a lot of stuff, specifically fishing stuff that I'm thinking about that you can end up reusing. Um, Soft plastic baits is the biggest one that comes to mind. When a soft plastic bait gets old and starts to rip apart, I know there's a lot of people out there who remelt them and kind of pour them into soft plastics. Something I'm going to try on the channel at some point, but I don't know when I'll get around to that. But I am going to try that at some point. I'm just kind of spitballing here, but other things I mentioned about using stuff that's not specifically meant for outdoor gear, but like I'm thinking about like you can use pocket lint as a fire starter and like help catch embers and stuff. I'm thinking about using different containers to hold slingshot ammo. I'm thinking about using, you know, if you have some leftover PVC pipe, you can make rod holders and stuff without actually having to go buy them. As I mentioned, you can use a bucket as a fishing seat. What else? What else? I'm just listing stuff that I've done before. I mentioned it earlier in the live, but fly tying materials you can get from craft stores and hardware stores and dollar stores, that sort of thing. Yeah, there's a lot of places that you can get stuff that isn't outdoor gear specifically, but honestly, it's just works just as well. Like, for example, this is one of the best examples I have. If I can get it out here without disrupting anything. This thing here, these like car mop things. These are the things you use for mop flies. There are people that sell these little mop things online or somewhere to make mop flies, and they sell them for like 4 times what the actual like mop thing that they actually come from is. You know, you do one of these and you like wipe your car down with it. That's what this is, and that's what mop flies are made out of. But people sell these for like 4 times what these are worth to people who want to use them to make mop flies. Just get the thing from the hardware store. It works just as good. It's the exact same thing, you know. Same thing with like there's all these different cool fire starters. You know, like you make some. There's a lot of people who use Vaseline and cotton balls. That works really really well, and a lot of people use that as their primary fire source. You don't a fire starter source. You don't need these fancy different materials to get it done. A lot of stuff doesn't have to be hard, and honestly, if you do it the simpler way, it saves you money too. So we got about 6 minutes or so left before I shut this live down. So I'm just gonna do some talking about some things here. Yeah, as far as live streams go, yet again, I'm always open to suggestions as far as live stream topics. It's hard to kind of come up with a topic that we'll say is suited well for a live stream. Like this one went pretty well, but you know, there were certain sections to where there weren't a ton of people in here, and because this kind of relies a lot on chat interaction, um, it's tough to do if there isn't chat interaction. Live stream topics are things that I can do and just sit here when there's not a lot of people in chat and just keep rolling through it. But also when there's people in chat, it still works nicely. Like my best example is live fly time. It works for a lot of people and it works for a reason. You can just keep rolling when there's not a lot of people in chat, and when there's people in chat, there's no reason why you can't just stop what you're doing and talk. So those sort of things I think are the best sort of live stream topics. And I struggle to be able to find stuff that I can do consistently as live stream. I do want to do another slingshot shooting live at some point because I think that's a really good one that works well. I think I'm going to try and do that in the vertical orientation, which is going to be a little bit different. But I'm going to try it out, see how that goes sometime in the near future. I really do like doing the lives because it gives me a good chance to interact with you guys, learn some things for myself, and hopefully just build a better community here on YouTube. So I really enjoy doing that all the time. So hopefully that's beneficial to you guys. I really do like it. As I said, I keep repeating myself. Not sure why. But yeah. So we got about 5 minutes left till we shut it down, or I don't know what kind of math I just did. That's 3 minutes. Yeah, I'm chucking things on the floor. We're falling apart here, but that's okay. The live's almost over. We only have to survive for a couple more minutes. Yeah. I think I'm going to start shutting her down here. I really enjoyed having you guys in tonight. Thank you for everyone who showed up in the live chat. As always, I appreciate you guys coming in. There's a lot of other places you could be. You decided to come in here with me, talk about some things. Hopefully it was beneficial to you guys. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the warm weather. I don't know if it's warm where you guys are, but here in Pennsylvania, it was darn near 70 degrees today, which is always a nice sign to see. Spring is really here, and I think it's going to start to stay warm at this point in time. Sometimes it fluctuates a little bit, but I think it's going to start to stay warm, which is always nice. The fish should start picking up. I'm going to start doing some camping stuff soon. I might end up doing some camping with some friends and doing some filming on that trip as well. So I'm excited for kind of what the springtime has to offer as far as outdoor opportunities. And hopefully you guys are enjoying that as well. With all that stuff being said, I think I'm about to hit the button to shut her down here. Yet again, thank you guys for coming in, and hopefully you enjoyed the live. I think I'm going to shut her down here. Thanks for coming in. I will see you guys next time. Where's the button? I gotta find the button. It looks different than it used to. I can't find the button. Oh, there it is. See ya.